Hey guys, Doug the Michigan Piper here, and I've got a VR to do today to NW Piper. And first, let me say, man, congratulations on the 800. Well, this is a 843 subscriber GAW that he's doing. So yes, I remember the number. So he's doing an 843 subscriber giveaway, and if you don't know who NW Piper is, why are you here? And John said it the best the other day. He's like, why are you over here? Go over there and check him out. Just a great presenter, and a lot of good content, and just a good guy. Just a pleasure to listen to. So today I'm smoking in my Goblin, my Rattray's Goblin, that I got from John, from Average John. Thank you, John. Some Second Breakfast from Country Squire, and so far I'm liking it. It's for an aromatic. It's lightly or lighter topped than like the Choctaw that I had or Old Toby or something like that. So with it, I'm drinking mint medley tea. One thing I didn't know, John, by the way, hang in there, Jason. I'll get you with you, buddy. Is I can't use my regular Zippo lighter to light this, because my Zippo lighter has a big flame on it, and I like these eyebrows, so I had to refill the old butane. But so far, I really like this. Of course, you know, guys, I'm not really surprised that I like Country Squire blends. But anyway, back to what this video is about, right? So for Jason's giveaway, he wants you to ask yourself 3 questions or answer 3 questions. First off, Jason, you're supposed to ask something like, what's your favorite tobacco, or what's most in your cellar? Dude, these questions are like super thinker questions. These are like, I'm up in my bed at night, like, what am I going to answer these questions? These aren't normal questions. So I'm giving you a hard time, man. They're good questions. They really are, and I'm really enjoying watching the responses. So let's get to the first one, which is, one thing that you think would make the world a better place? And these are going to be hard to answer in like a 10 to 15 minute time, I'm telling you right now. I will tell you, this actually pretty recently here within the last week or so. So a lot of you know that I am a death investigator on top of being my normal job, and I had to go to a scene the other day, and at that scene, I'm going to try not to make this political because it really isn't, but at that scene, these people were living on government money, which I'm not knocking government money. There's a place for it, but it was a family, boyfriend, girlfriend, 5 kids or so. She is, I think, got kids from 5 different dads. Neither one of them have jobs, living on government money. Both perfectly healthy. And this is where, you know, the old man wants to kick in, right? It's like, get out, get a job, you know, and there's reasons why people don't have jobs, don't get me wrong. But to this point, I see a lot of this. And to this point, I think that male mentoring, a resurgence in male mentoring. And what I mean by that is, and it's nothing against females, you know, I'm not saying that females can't make an impact. My wife makes an impact in my life every day. But I just think that, you know, if we could grab hold of these people that don't have their goals set straight, and I'm not saying you got to have a goal to rule the world, you know, you just want to be happy, right? But at the same time, you have to be productive in some way, shape, or form to be a functioning part of society. And right now we have all these families that are just, they're being paid to make babies. And I don't mean to be negative. It's not meant that way. And here's the point I'm getting to, is a lot of these people don't even know what's going on. They're raised in this kind of environment. And it's getting worse and worse. If you're around a big city, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen it. I get some firsthand views of it. And I think if we had some more male mentors to be able to take guys under their wing and say, hey, look, here's how you do this right. You know, you find a woman you love and you marry her. You court her. I used court. Sorry, old fashioned. You date her. You marry her. She has your children. You provide for them. You put back into the community that you live in, and you get a reward from that. You get a good feeling is a reward, and you show them what that's like, and you take them places, and you let them see you do good things, and you set that example. You know, we can sit back all day long and say, well, oh, you're just taking the government's money and my tax money, and you're out making babies and doing drugs and blah blah blah. But that's not going to fix the problem, right? So the one thing, I know it's a long answer to your short question, but the one thing I think is a resurgence of male mentorship. And then the second question is, what age would you want to be? Let's try to get this a little lighter, huh? What age would you want to be for the rest of your life if you have to pick an age? And I would have to say 38. You know, I started having not health issues, but more things going, like I wasn't invincible at about 41, 42. And, you know, before that, my son had a lot of problems in school. So I think 38, it was right when my son, you know, he was preteen, and him and I hung out and did things together. But yet he was old enough to watch himself if I had a fire call or something. And I could do stuff, you know. I still can do stuff, but it hurts. and I'm only 49, getting ready to turn 50. So I think 38 for me. We'll keep that one short because the next one will probably be long too. I apologize in advance. The last question is, what's the most profound revelation about yourself that you've ever had? And I'm really going to try to give you the Reader's Digest version on this, but this comes back around 2008-ish. So my wife and I had separated, and I had filed for divorce. And I really was on my own trek. I was ready to slam the book closed, start a new chapter in the next part of my life. But God used 3 different guys in 3 different situations to really speak to me within like a week's time. And I went back to my wife begrudgingly, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to do this, but I believe this is where God's leading me. And you know, I wanted to do His will. This is what it boils down to. And so I went back, and lo and behold, my marriage got tons better, and our church life got tons better. And we started, but we were part of a new marriage group, and we, you know, read tons of marriage books, guys. I mean, everything from the 5 love languages to the Love Dare to, man, I don't remember. There was just so many. Gary Smalley, and I mean, just a bunch of them. And so Dr. James Dobson was some of my favorite stuff. But anyway, so I'm sitting at one of these marriage groups, and one of our elders of our church is in the marriage group with us. And we always had this time where we talk beforehand. And he said, hey, we don't have anybody to preach on Father's Day. And he looked at me, and I laughed. I mean, like audibly out loud in his face, laughed. Because I thought he was cracking a joke. Come to find out later, he wasn't joking. So I called him up, and I'm like, hey, were you joking? And he's like, no, actually I wasn't. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in your face. So I said, yeah, if this is, I prayed about it. Hey, if this is what God wants me to do, then great. So I did it. And by the way, for you pastors out there, I don't know how you guys do that every week, because it took me like a month or 2 to prepare this I call it a sermon or a talk. And at the time we had a little church. It was like 180 people. And so I did it, but I had everything that I needed. It was on fatherhood and the building blocks of fatherhood. And with everything that we had gone through in the months and years before that, and that everything I'd researched and read, both in Scripture and in other places, was the perfect setup for this sermon. And I remember thinking to myself, as far as this third question, the Revelation goes, I got to a certain point, I think it was right afterwards maybe, and I was like, I've been used. And it was a good thing. I've never been used in a good way, right? And I kept praying that I wanted to be used. I wanted to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I just wanted to be used, basically. But I wanted to be an active part of the church. I wanted to be, I didn't want to necessarily be the guy up front or, somebody in the public eye. I just wanted to be there to help God's cause. And I just remember thinking to myself, the way this all, because I'm not a guy that reads a lot of books. I struggled through Lord of the Rings this past, or 2 years ago, but I got through. But it was a struggle for me because it's hard for me to read that much. And just the fact that revelation of, I gave him me, for whatever that's worth. I gave him, it's like I had nothing but, I think there's a song that says, I got nothing but my open hands to give you. And I came to the realization that if you just, that's all he wants. All God wants is for you to say, what's next? And when I did that, guys, I will say as a caveat to that, without making this too late, that comes with its own set of problems, right? Pride was an issue, right? Because I'm the guy that, I preach a sermon. Now I go, go around telling people, hey, I preach a sermon. It kind of reminds me of, if you've never seen it, I don't think I have the book here. Yeah, I do. C.S. Lewis, The Screwtape Letters. If you've not read this book, you don't have to be a Christian. It's not, lock you up until you confess. It's by C.S. Lewis. It's a fiction book. And in this book, he's talking about, in one point, about how the premise of the book is one demon is teaching another demon how to trip up this Christian. This is how you keep this Christian from being saved, so that we get him instead of the other guy. And at one point, he said, if they call him his patient, he's like, if your patient is so diligent about being humble and about being second, let him do that. And then when he gets there, put the thought in his head, hey, I'm humble. So it's like this catch-22, right? You do the right thing, but then the pride kicks in that, well, look at me, look how humble I am. And that comes to play, comes into play when you do things like speaking in front of people or whatever. So, but I know I'm going off and down a rabbit hole, guys, but I did want to put that warning out there that if you do something for God, just be careful that there's other things. Devil always tries to use it. God uses everything for his glory, but the devil tries to steal everything for his. So just remember that. But that's the three questions, guys. I know I went down a road some of you might not like, but that's who I am. But again, Jason, congratulations, man. Very, very cool. I'm sure it's not going to be any time for you at 1,000, no doubt in my mind. Just a really good channel, guys. If you haven't been over there, I'll put a link in the bucket. But that's my answers, man. I really like that pipe, so just go ahead if you want to put the address on now and just do a fake drawing or something and say my name's at the end. That's okay too. So otherwise, I'm gonna enjoy this to stop babbling since we're almost at 15 minutes, 2 videos in a row. So guys, I hope you're all doing well. Until next time, you take care.